صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. تبارك الذي بيده الملك وهو على كل شيء قدير. الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا وهو العزيز الغفور. الذي خلق 7 سماوات طباقا ما ترى في خلق الرحمن من تفاوت فارجع البصر هل ترى من فطور ثم ارجع البصر كرتين ينقلب إليك البصر خاسئا وهو حسير. ولقد زينا السماء الدنيا بمصابيح وجعلناها رجوما للشياطين وأعتدنا لهم عذاب السعير. وللذين كفروا بربهم عذاب جهنم وبئس المصير. إذا ألقوا فيها سمعوا لها شهيقا وهي تفور تكاد تميز من الغيظ كلما ألقي فيها فوج سألهم خازنتها ألم يأتيكم نذير قالوا بلى قد جاءنا نذير فكذبنا قالوا بلى قد جاء نذير فكذبنا وقلنا ما نزل الله من شيء إن أنتم إلا في ضلال كبير. وقالوا لو كنا نسمع أو نعقل ما كنا في أصحاب السعير فاعترفوا بذنبهم فسحقا لأصحاب السعير. إن الذين يخشون ربهم بالغيب لهم مغفرة وأجر كبير. صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات. اللهم صل على محمد.
أحسنت سيد أحسنت. Tonight our guest speaker is our dear Sheikh Dr. Sadek Ismail. أهلا وسهلا الشيخ. سلام. Sheikh Sadek's background uniquely bridges the spiritual and the scientific. He is currently a professor in the healthcare department at Conestoga College and holds a PhD in biotechnology, where he has worked as a research scientist in cell biology and pharmacology, mashallah. Theologically, he has pursued profound studies in the Hawza and is currently at the highest stage at Bahth al-Khariji in jurisprudence and principles. His journey as an Imam and lecturer has taken him through France and Germany and previously to the Al-Mahdi Learning Institute in Niagara, just down the street from us. Tonight, he joins us here with a deep commitment to fostering both the spiritual and academic growth. With a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad, please welcome our dear Sheikh. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الخلق وأعز المرسلين سيدنا وحبيب قلوبنا وشفيع ذنوبنا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه الطيبين الطاهرين سيما قائمهم صاحب العصر والزمان عجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف. Brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum jami'an wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Always we come here and we have this struggle of choosing what language to speak with in your community center. We just finished the Farsi lecture for the Iranian community, and now I don't know if I speak in English or in Arabic. But I think that the majority should be understanding English, so I'm going to go with English. For those who don't, I'm so sorry. My apologies in advance. But inshallah, we want the benefit to be like for everyone. So inshallah, the lecture is going to be in English. The topic that I need to talk about today is something that I think we all have thought about. It's a common issue that was in the community a long time ago, still in the community, but now it is spreading into the younger generation too, which is starting to be a little bit concerning. And this topic is the reverse migration. So, first and second generation of our parents who came here to Canada, they usually thought that we're going to work for some time here, establish a temporary life, and then go back. We're not going to stay in Canada. We're going to go back to Lebanon or Iraq or Iran or Pakistan. So the initial plan was not staying. Now, not only the people of first and second generation are thinking this way, it's spread into the younger generation. People who are born here and raised here, they're having the same thoughts. That maybe it's not for me the best choice staying in this country. It's not the ideal for me. And I'm thinking of leaving. Recently, a few weeks ago, I just met a young brother in Al-Ridha in Toronto. He's 22 or 23 years old. And I was talking to him. He's very active in the community center. He's in the Scouts, a leader. One of the best brothers in the community there, between the youth. And then I was talking to him. He's finishing his degree at university, I said, what do you want to do after that? He said, I'm returning to Lebanon. I said, what? Because usually I'm used to hear this from people who are older. Like they're married, they have children. And this person is telling me I'm returning to Lebanon with this situation now. I said, but why? He said, because it's better there. I said, better in what? And he said, in every aspect. It's better for myself, the community there, the society there. It's our country, our language, our culture, our religion. It's better to live there. And then in the future, it's better for my family and my kids to raise my kids there. It's better than Canada. Because it's like the community around you is Muslim, you have the family there, society is better. So it's easier to protect your family and your kids. And then you're going to be close to the people who are like you, close to the cause, so you can participate better. I said, okay. Have you been in Lebanon before? He said, yeah, like I used to go like few summers. So he's not born there, he did not grow there. I said, but how do you know that it's better there? He said, this is what we hear from people who went there. And this is how they talk about it in the community, so we all know it. I said, okay, so it's all based on speculations. People taught you, people told you. It's not your experience. He said, yes, I went to Lebanon and I've seen it in the summer and it's very beautiful. And this is what I want to establish a family. This is what I want to raise my kids. He experienced it for like few months in the summer when you go to vacation. Like whatever you go on vacation, you're going to love that place. But that's his home country, so he's going to love it more. I said, okay. Then we're still having this discussion with the community in general, because now it's like it's an alarm for us, for me, because people of younger generation are thinking this way. And this is dangerous. Why? Because this same person, you look at him, you see that he's confused. He's in a kind of a depression. He doesn't know if he's going to stay, and he's not sure if he's going to leave. So he's in the middle. What do you expect from someone who is lost, who's confused? He's not going to be serious enough. On everything that he's working, he's not going to be serious enough. He's not going to be giving 100% of his energy and 100% of his time, because this is not sure that it's going to be my final project. I'm not sure that I'm going to finish this till the end. Going back to, I don't know, look at the situation right now, I'm not sure. So you're going to be hung in between. You don't know if you go for it or not. If you take this decision or that decision. If you do this work or that work. What is the job that you're going to choose? Are you going to establish a family here, buy a house here, stay here or not? It's very confusing. So it's not good. He's not in a good situation. Just take a decision. Do you want to stay or not? So it's not clear for him. He cannot take a decision. This is the first negative effect. Second one is that it's spreading. He's a leader in the kashaf, in the scouts. So he has children that he teaches. And he has friends in the community. And they talk to each other. And this is spreading. Yes, I heard that. I've seen people went back to Lebanon, and now I've seen their kids when they come back. They're different. They're better than us. They have had a better education, better culture, better language. So it's better to go there. He's just basing everything on what he's seeing here. He doesn't know the details. And then he's talking to his friends. So this idea is spreading. It's viral. This is the other danger. And no one is clarifying. Nothing is based on facts. And it's still spreading. Someone has to talk about it then. We need to talk about it. This is why we're talking about it. So we started a series of discussions in Toronto, in Al-Ridha. We just gather youth and we talk about this. For 2 hours, they just ask questions. They answer, they participate. Because we need to clarify this. It has to be clarified. For me, myself, also, I was curious. I wanted to know, is this a reality or not? So we had, in the new school in Hamilton, we had a workshop for the parents just 2 weeks ago. And I was talking to them, what are your expectations from the school? What do you wish for your kids the best here in Canada? And they started talking and giving some ideas. And then few of them said, if I had the means, I would not stay. But I can't. I cannot afford it to leave because my job is here. And I cannot work there, so I'm not going to have an income. So I can't return. But if I had the means, I'd leave. So he's the one who's going to stay, but he doesn't want to stay. So still, he's in the same category. He sees there better, here is worse, but it's because he can't go. He cannot work there. He cannot have an income there. This is why he doesn't want to go. So he's convinced that here is worse and there is good, but he can't go. And then at the end of the meeting, one person who's like a very mu'min brother in the community and leading the project of the school, very active in the community. He went back for about 10 years when his kids was like, they were in the 8, 9 years old. So he had the full experience. So this is someone that you can ask and get some facts. He told me, you know what, Sheikh? I said, what? And his kids, by the way, are the best of the community in Hamilton. They got the best education, the best Arabic language they speak, best culture. So he raised them very good. No comment. So he did a very good job. So this is tricky for us. This is a good experience. This is someone who succeeded in this experience. Let's hear from him. He said, you know what, Sheikh? I said, what? He said, most of my friends, the majority of the people who went back like me, they didn't succeed. I said, that's surprising, what you're saying. How? What happened? He said, I was an exception, and I will tell you why. He said, they go back. There are two groups of them. One of them is they can't find a job there, so they start a business or they start a job and they can earn an income there, and they can sustain their families and they stay. But this is a minority. The majority is people who can have, their job is still here. So they have to send their families and kids there, and they stay here for like 7, 8 months, and then they can go and visit every few months. He said, you know what, for these two categories, they let their guards down because they think it's an Islamic community and everything is good, and my kids are going to grow in an Islamic way anyway, and it's easier. So they reduce their supervision, they reduce their conditions. They let their guards down, and then year after year after year, they see that their kids are not doing well like they expected. Because it's free there. Even if you think that corruption is only here, it could be there too. So they left their kids without supervision. So they went the wrong way. This is one side of it. So now we're talking facts. The other side of it, especially for those who are working here and their families are there, the father is not present with the family most of the year. So here we're talking about a psychological and social impact of the absence of the father in the family. This is not only cultural or religious. The father is not there. You're the role model of your kids, and you're not there for 6, 7 months. And you think that, yeah, I sent them there with my wife, so they should be good. And they are in an Islamic school, so they should be good. And then you look at the kids after a few years, lots of mental health issues, psychological problems, because the father was not there. So they undermine this effect of the father not being there. So see, it's all problems. It doesn't mean that if you go to a place where you imagine it's a good place, that it's going to work. And this is a witness, someone witnessing that he saw this. It's his friends and the kids of his friends. He told me, yes, you can see my kids here. They are good kids, but the majority of my friends, they're not here, and their kids are not here in the markaz. They came back to Canada, but you don't see them. So you cannot ask them. They failed. You see me because I succeeded. I still have my kids here. He said, I had a job in Dubai, but I work for 4 days, overtime, so I can take 3 days off, and every weekend I fly back to Lebanon. And I book my flights 1 year in advance. He said, this is how I succeeded. I sacrificed a lot. I moved my kids from an Islamic school to a public school there, because in an Islamic school, Saturday is a school day. And I put them in a public school because Saturday and Sunday is off, and I want to be with my kids on the weekend. So I sacrificed a lot. My community blamed me. How did you remove your kids from Islamic school? Well, I want to spend time with my kids because I know how much the importance is of the father being with his kids. So I sacrificed a lot. My friends did not do the same. This is how I succeeded with my kids. I did this and this and that and that. I was present with my kids. So he didn't leave. He was not working remotely, but he was there. What they needed, he was there. He was supervising still. He didn't let his guards down. So it's an exception. Not anyone can do that. Not everyone can do that. So the reality that we need to face is, yes, even if this is happening, a lot of people are going, yes, but the majority of people, of us here, we can't go back. Some people, their land and their house and their village is not there anymore. Their country is not available anymore. Some of our brothers and sisters. But even for others who can, it's not possible to tell someone, yeah, you have to move back and resign from your job and then find another job. So the reality that we're facing is that this is impossible for a lot of people. Why are we spreading this idea between the youth that yes, you can go back and yes, you can be successful? So at the end, we're not benefiting from the presence of this youth in our community. He's not beneficial for the community. He's not beneficial for his own self. And he's lost. He's confused. So this is dangerous. This is not good. 3 years ago, when the war started, we thought that now they're going to say, yeah, the circumstances are not good. The situation is very bad. There's war, so we cannot go back. So I thought that the opinion of these people is going to change a little bit. But it was the opposite. So now there's a new idea coming. The new idea is, well, we're doing nothing here in the West. Everything that is going on in the world is happening in the East. It's happening in the Middle East. The war is in the Middle East. The divine war is in the Middle East. The martyrs are in the Middle East. The fight is in the Middle East. The existential threat on the Shia is in the Middle East. What are we doing right here? My friends and family are dying. Their houses are being demolished. They're losing their lands and everything that they have and their childhood and their memories. And me here, I'm chill. I'm going to my work in the morning, coming back in the evening, and I'm going out with my family. What is this life? Doesn't make any sense. My family and my friends are doing giving these sacrifices, and here I'm doing nothing. So it's not the good place to be. I should not stay here. I should go back. Whatever the situation is. So they're still convinced that I should be there, not here. And this is their reasoning. This is how they think about it. I told you the facts. I told you the experience of people who went back, and this is what they have seen. Now, why is there this confusion? Why people are still thinking this way? Why the Prophet, peace be upon him, when his companions were returning from the Battle of Badr, and in the Battle of Badr, the Muslim companions were a minority, only around 70 people. They fought against the enemy of Quraysh. The number was huge. So it was impossible on paper to win. And they won. Because they were sincere, they fought with the Prophet, they applied all the commands, and they won. Angels fought with them. It was a divine victory. But it was a hard victory. It was like an impossible victory. They gave lots of martyrs. They were like bleeding. And on the way back, you know what the Prophet said to them? He said, welcome back to my companions who have accomplished the small jihad, and they still have the big jihad. مرحبا بقوم أدوا الجهاد الأصغر وبقي عليهم الجهاد الأكبر. They looked at the Prophet. Prophet, we were dying. We were literally dying. We gave all these martyrs. It was an impossible fight, but we won. And now you're telling us that this is a minor jihad, a minor struggle? What do you mean? What is bigger than this? What is bigger than what we have done? So there is another war. There is another kind of battle. That is not only physical, swords and shields and bullets. And it is harder than the physical one. And it's a major fight. And it's not only exclusive to where circumstances are meant for a physical war. It is for every one of us, according to the description of the Prophet. Al-Jihad al-Akbar. The major jihad, the major struggle. Because it's here. So we all have it. We all have this struggle inside of us. So we all have to fight this war. You have to go through the first jihad, the biggest jihad, with your ego first, and then you go to the second one. Those who are fighting and being martyred, they were not there by coincidence. It didn't happen like this. So there is an order of these jihads. First you have to go through the first one, the major one, the big one, the hardest one, And then you go to the smaller one, if you can, if the circumstances are met. There's a priority. Which one is the priority? Some people will tell you, yeah, the war is happening now in the Middle East. What we can do is like, I can post something on social media. I can go and participate in the protest stations. I can share it on the group on WhatsApp. We can talk about it. We can like support, send money. Like we can do lots of things. Yes. But is this your priority number one? Is this your cause number one? That's good to support. I'm not saying not. We have to support because this is the global challenge that we're facing as an ummah. But what about your challenge in the first place? Who's helping you and supporting you in your own challenge in the first place? That's good to do, but it's not everything. Why are we so narrow? This is happening now. Yes, I can support with what I can, but this is not all the picture. There is a missing episode here. There is a missing episode here. Why are we still confused? Why we're not doing the priority number one? Because we did not define our objectives and our taklif and our duty and our mission. We don't know it. Also, in the first place, is there a taklif for us here in the West or not? Or we should all go and return, go back. When you go and find a part-time job, for example, when you're studying at university, you go and work at Tim Hortons or go and do some Uber, because you just want to have like some income to pay your expenses temporarily. And you're going to finish your degree and later you're going to go and work in your dream job. And when I ask you, are you going to stay in Tim Hortons? You're going to say no. Because this is not what I want to do. This is not the plan. I'm just here temporarily to cover some costs. So same applies to us. If I think this way, why I'm here in the West, I'm just here temporarily, and then I'm leaving, it's because it was not the plan. You were not planning to stay. You don't have any objectives. You're just here to earn some money temporarily and then leave. Same. On the other side, when do I say that this employee in this company is a hard-working employee? He's very good in the company. When he believes in the company, when he believes in the project of the company, when he believes in the vision of the CEO at the company, and he treats the company as if it is his own. I'm working for myself. It's my company. If the company succeeds, I succeed. He's treated as if it's his own. This is when an employee is successful and is a good employee. Okay? Same applies to our community and our presence here in the West. If I don't believe in the project, I don't believe in the cause, or I don't know if there's a project in the first place, I'm wasting my time. And I'm wasting my energy. And I'm not hardworking. Because I still have this confusion. I don't know if there's a duty. I don't know if there's a project. And that's dangerous. This is why we need to talk about it. Half of the solution is defining the problem. And now we're talking about the problem. Some people would say, yes, but the circumstances are not met. We cannot do anything here. It's the West. It's not an Islamic country. We're paying taxes to the government, to the Canadian government. Instead of putting our money in our community, we're giving it to the Canadian government. Circumstances are not met. We're not meant to be here. We have to leave. But what about Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam? We all know that he was the one to be the Khalifa and the Imam, but they took it from him. What did he do? Did he run away? Did he move cities? Did he say, no, the circumstances are not met. I cannot stay. I have to leave. I cannot do anything. I have no taklif anymore. No. He didn't do it this way. He still have a taklif. He still has a taklif and he did it. And he assisted because there's a community. There's people. There's Islam. Same applies to Imam Hassan after him. There was Muawiyah. He didn't accept. He said, I'm the Khalifa. Imam Hassan did a peace treaty with Muawiyah, the father of Yazid. He did peace with him. Why? Because the priority is not me or him, it's the Islam. For Imam Hussein, same. Circumstances are different. Now I need to fight. We need to sacrifice. Because for the Islam to be saved, I have to be martyred. So there's still a taklif, and he did it. So taklif changes, it adapts with the circumstances. Doesn't mean there is no taklif. Imam Sadek alayhi salam, he was not the Imam. The Khulafa was fighting each other. He benefited from this opportunity to establish the Ja'fari madhab. So his duty, his mission was the knowledge, the ilm, and the students that he had. According to the circumstances, this is his duty, this is his taklif. Imam Ridha alayhi salam, he was in the palace of Ma'mun. Worse than that, yani you're working for the bad guy. You are in the palace of the Ma'mun. He didn't say that the circumstances are not met, there's nothing I can do. He brought him to the palace. You're going to be with me here, under my eyes. But still, he had his companions, and he was spreading the message, and he was talking, and he was accomplishing his duty. So there's no excuse. Here in Canada, we're good. We're relatively good. Still, Ontario is better than Quebec. Our daughters can go to school with hijab. We can pray in public spaces. It's better than Europe. So we're still in a very good situation. We have Islamic schools. We have kashaf. We have marakis and masajid. In Europe, it's catastrophic. In France, no mosques, no schools. Your daughters cannot be muhajjaba. You cannot pray in public. Then you can tell me, yeah, I cannot stay. I have to leave. I was there and I left. But here it's okay. It's still livable. It's even better than the US. So there's no excuse to say there is no taklif. This is the problem. The problem that we need to think about is God's project for earth and for humanity is only for the East and not for the West? Is our Imam, the living Imam right now, coming back only for the East and not for the West? A valid question, right? The 313 leaders who are going to be under the command of the Imam when he reappears are only going to be chosen from the East, not from the West? Because we have a narration, very specific. A number of these 313 are from the West. I'm not saying that this is the proof. I'm saying that this is also there. So me and you and us here doesn't mean that we have nothing to do here and we all have to go back. What is going to be left then? Who's going to be left? If we do that, la samahallah, God forbid, we're running from our responsibility. We didn't define our duty. We didn't define our taklif. And we don't know what we are doing. So this is very important, because if we don't define this in the beginning, we're not going to be able to know what to do next. What is my role? Why the mosque is there? Why the markaz is there? Why Islamic school? Why kashaf? Islam is not only worship, it's not only prayer and fasting in the month of Ramadan and giving charity. This is the worshipping side of Islam. And this is what the West wants you to think about religions in general. This is the Western secular religions. That, yeah, religion is personal, it's individual, it's for you, you can pray at home, and that's it. Islam is not like this. Islam is not separate from politics. Islam is separate from science. Islam is not separate from economy. Islam is everywhere. A part of it is worshiping, but it's not everything. So yes, if I'm doing my duties in worshiping, but that's not all. I'm missing a lot of things. So when I'm working for my community here in the West, I have to take all this in consideration. It's not only about worshiping. You hear these comments a lot, these critiques. Our community is not progressing. Our community is like, we're still stagnant. We're not going forward. Yes, because people are not serious. The youth are not serious. They don't know that we have a responsibility here. They don't know that we have a taklif and a duty here. So they're just surviving their faith. Surviving every day. That's it. We're not establishing something. We're not working on a project, on a big project, preparing for the Imam to return. If he returns, what is our situation now when he look at us here in the West? Who's going to lead? Who's going to be with the Imam? It's a serious question. So we have to be ready for that day. In the East, I think they're doing a good job. They're going to be ready because they're ready already. But it doesn't mean that I have to run away from the reality where I live here and go and be with them. Maybe you're not fit for there. Maybe you've been made to be here. Your responsibility is here. Because someone from the East cannot come and fill your spot here in the West. So if you leave your spot empty, that's sin. Because you have to have an answer in front of God. Why did you leave your responsibility? What's your excuse? If you go there, there are lots of people who can fulfill the job better than you because they were made for it. But who can come and fill the spot? Here. These are serious questions, brothers and sisters, that we need to ask ourselves. And it's because as we're getting these comments a lot from the community, this is what I've seen the need to talk about it. We're having discussions in Toronto and Hamilton about this, sitting down with the youth, getting their questions and answering, because you cannot be lost, just stuck in between. You don't know if you're staying or not. What job do I choose? What education do I choose? We need to have this clear vision to know that there is a Shia project and an Islam project for the whole world, including the West. And what is my role in this project? We need to think about it and work towards it, inshallah. Barakat salat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Ahsantum Sheikh. I'd like to thank you for reminding us of our duty here in the West. And I'd also like to remind you that there is a Madif outside on the sister side and on the brother side. So if you haven't already helped yourself, please feel free to help yourself to some of the sweets and the drinks. Jazakumullah al-khair, Sheikhna. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.